Boozehound Entertainment presents A Walk in Darkness.
We're searching for the Demonic Testament, a book written by a demon, and you're coming with us.
Hey everyone, well, we did it. We have some pretty big news to share.
Well, that's putting it mildly. I mean, it's really been a roller coaster over here for the last few days. I mean, between Surath's capture and this little thing that Sutton's been reading. But now we find ourselves at a bit of a crossroads.
Yeah, in many ways the last few months have gone by quick. Yet so much has happened.
Right.
So many life-altering events and experiences I never thought I'd have.
Yeah, and, I've always wanted to find and share the truth. And now that, I guess we need to start by letting everybody know what we have.
We have the Demonic Testament.
Well, to be clear, we believe we have a version of it. We don't have the actual book.
Right. Okay, so every day I make it a point to read the Lost Bible. With the exception of Surath's confession the other day, it's been pretty much a self-help book around the concept of threes. But on Tuesday, everything changed. It just wasn't the same book. Now the words that appear on the pages describe the beginning, which chronicles the birth of hell, an upset in the balance, and other things most religious people will find extremely disturbing.
That's for sure. And when Sutton came to me with this, showed me what she was reading in this Lost Bible, I honestly couldn't believe it. I mean, it's really hard because she's the only one that can read it and sees what's on these pages and knows what it says. The rest of us, we just have to sit here and wait for her to transcribe everything to read it for ourselves.
Yeah, and that is really the crutch right there. I know this is what we've been searching for, but I'm not sure I should transcribe what I read and make it tangible. How do we know it's even true?
Well, we don't know that it's true, but that's par for this investigation. I mean, we're relying on cheats and liars to discover the truth. But as you and I have talked about, Surath appears to be using the Lost Bible to deliver the Demonic Testament to us since he doesn't have time to wait for it to be released. I mean, he needs this out there.
Well, true. And I know you feel the same way after I read the first part to you. If we release this book, this universe-altering book, we're going to be responsible for influencing the greatest change to mankind the world's ever seen.
Yeah, there's no doubt that this is a very heavy burden to bear. But we've talked about this before. This is our destiny to do this, to find this book and put it out there. But that said, you're right, though. I do have reservations about putting this out there. I mean, to our knowledge, Surath hasn't shown you the whole thing yet. We have no idea at this point what else the Demonic Testament will tell us. But so far, it's pretty contradictory to, how can I put this?
If we are able to believe the words in this book, the truth isn't what we think it is.
Exactly. Yes. And, it completely decimates every single belief system out there.
Yeah.
Catholics, Methodists, Protestants, atheists, it really doesn't matter, and what will this do to us, to our humanity? I mean, on one hand, the truth shouldn't be withheld, but on the other, sometimes ignorance is bliss, as they say.
Yeah, but once it's out there, there's no going back, and the world will just change forever. I mean, shit, we could trigger the darkness the preacher talked about.
Definitely. And I think this is why the church, and I guess God and Lucifer too, are so hell-bent on preventing its release. But speaking of the church, Father Murray says that things are heating up over there.
Something new with Surath?
No. The task force has been meeting more frequently about us in the investigation, and Murray says they're really nervous about us.
Them being nervous makes me nervous.
Yeah, me too, and especially after finding out the Viking is communicating directly with the church. What do they know about us? And what have they told the church? Do they know Surath is showing you the demonic testament through the Lost Bible?
And that's what makes me so nervous. You mentioned before how Guinot and the Viking could be watching us and how careful we need to be. And on top of that, I don't believe Guinot and the Viking are who they claim to be.
You don't think they're from purgatory?
Well, let's just say I read something in the demonic testament that I haven't shared that makes me suspicious. That, and I can't get past the idea that the church is knowingly communicating with the dead. Someone from purgatory, no less.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Except maybe they don't know they're dead. I mean, I had no idea Guinot was dead and from purgatory when I first met him.
Yeah, and he claimed to be who again?
A priest at the Vatican. I mean, but wait, hold on a second. Hang on a minute. Let's back up to the part where you said you read something that you haven't shared yet.
Okay. If we look back, you're the only one they've made contact with. Never me.
All right, so?
You were a holy man at one point. I never was.
Okay, yeah.
Well, the demonic testament talks about a special class of angels called ambassador angels. I mean, their role was, among other things, to preach the word of God directly to those loyal to God, and only interfere to guard against the darkness. And your first meeting with Guinot was in a place filled with God's loyalists.
Yeah. So you're saying...
Yes, I believe Snore and Guinot are ambassador angels. And if I'm right, that makes them even more dangerous to us. This has been the Supernatural Thriller Podcast, A Walk in Darkness, produced by Boozehound Entertainment. Follow A Walk in Darkness on Instagram and Twitter, and don't forget to subscribe.